So, a while back, I asked what would happen if somebody bought Capcom. Who could buy Capcom? And I mentioned Nintendo. Well, the other day I was scrolling around through Twitter and I saw a tweet, I believe it was actually from MC Chris, and it asked what would happen if Disney bought Nintendo. And I hadn't thought about this. I hadn't really thought about Nintendo being bought out or anything anytime soon because while they're not doing well with this generation, they made a ton of money on the original Wii, and they're still doing well with the 3DS. It's probably, the second best-selling console of all time, if you want to count handhelds and such. So they're probably still doing fairly well with cash, but I don't know that they're going to really be successful with another generation of consoles, at least on their own. And so I started thinking about Disney as a possible option. It may seem like a strange fit because Disney is a media company. So I started thinking about the other two big consoles out on the market right now, the Sony PlayStation 4 and the Microsoft Xbox One. Sony was originally a hardware company that eventually did get into content generation, movies, music, so on and so forth, essentially selling you content to consume on the hardware that they sold you. So they're trying to get you coming and going. Microsoft was a software company with a few hardware things, and they'd been doing consoles for a while on a smaller scale. Not really popular here in the US, but the MSX consoles did well in Japan and in Europe. But I'm not even sure why Microsoft jumped into the game. Aside from trying to keep Sony out, their big, entry into the console market for me wasn't, I don't believe it was the Xbox. I believe that their first big entry into the console market was the Sega Dreamcast, with it running Windows CE and everything. And in a lot of ways, and I'll come back to this probably in another video, I think that the original Xbox was in many ways a successor to the Dreamcast. They had a software company getting into the hardware and gaming business. Looking at Disney, a straight-up media company, but having such broad reach. They have so much under their umbrella. I'm not just talking about the traditional Disney stuff, plus Marvel, plus Lucas. You're going to have so many different movie studios like Touchstone, Miramax, who knows? There's just anything out there. It can go from ultra PG to fucking Tarantino. I think that his stuff is through Miramax. I don't know, maybe. But Disney, the one thing that they do have is a shit ton of money. I've been looking through some stocks recently, and I've been paying attention to Disney. And if you look at Disney over the past 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, I think it's gone from if you go back 10 years to 2004, it's gone from $30 a share to 90 some. That's brilliant. That's just an incredible return, and I'm a sucker for not being in on Disney for... You go back to the fucking Disney Renaissance, and then you invest then to now, oh shit, you're rich. Obviously, Disney has the content to support a console in a very first-party fashion, similar to what Nintendo's been doing for the past couple of generations, where the company making the hardware would be making the best software for it. Nintendo, of course, has been doing this for years with their flagship titles, Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Mario Kart, Smash, all these sorts of things, which are all first/second party. Now, with Disney really hitting the Disney Infinity, picking up on the Skylanders thing, putting the Disney Infinity out there, Infinity 2.0, adding in Marvel. I think the next iteration is supposed to include Star Wars, though no mention of Indiana Jones. People always fucking forget that Disney owns Indiana Jones. All right? I've seen some mock-ups of Chris Pratt, basically, when he's all slimmed down and looking good from fucking Star-Lord and shit and Guardians, as Indiana Jones. And yeah, I would fucking watch a Chris Pratt Indiana Jones. You play him fairly straight, because Indiana Jones was pretty, it was funny, but it wasn't a comedy. So you play him as a legit, it'll be good. But Disney has the content that they could support their own console with simply their own content. The question would be, what would happen to everything else? Because right now, Disney gets a lot of money on a lot of different platforms. I'm not sure about PC. I'm not sure they have some stupid web games or MMOs, whatever. But you can buy a Disney game on essentially any console you want. Would they pull everything back like Nintendo and not have their content available on other machines? I don't know if they want to cut out that revenue stream, or would they think that having their own hardware and bringing other people in, would that make up for the money and even make them a profit? I don't know. It's a fascinating concept, and I really hadn't given it much thought until I saw that tweet. And I've been thinking about it a little bit since. Right now, I don't think... Well, fuck. They spent, what, 4-point-something billion on Marvel? Could they buy out? I don't know. And I don't know if it'd be good. It'd be really interesting to see Nintendo buy Capcom and Disney buy Nintendo. Solve any problems with any future Marvel vs. Capcom games, aside from the problems with the games themselves. I was playing... My daughter wanted to play a game that had Spider-Man in it, and she and I have been playing Street Fighter 4. She mains Ultra. Or, pardon me, in Ultra she mains Poison. And she wanted to go as Poison for Halloween. I'm like, dude, you're 5. You're not dressing up as Poison. But she wanted to play a fighting game that had Spider-Man in it. And I had purchased Ultimate Marvel 3 when it was on sale. You know, Capcom had that big drop when Marvel was cutting out all their licensing and shit. And so we wanted to play Marvel. She got a 21-hit combo with a team Storm, Jean Grey. Who was her third? It may have been She-Hulk. She wanted an all-girl team. But she got a 21-hit combo by mashing on my Adark with her feet. She got a 21-hit combo with her fucking feet. So, yeah, you might fix your fucking licensing problems with the next Marvel game, but you need to fix the fucking game. I'm sorry, guys. I cannot... I try watching Marvel, and it's shit. I can get into watching Street Fighter, but Marvel is just god-awful. I digress. It would handle all their licensing issues. It could give them a huge content library. I don't know. I think that in the long run, I don't anticipate this. Well, in the immediate future, I don't anticipate Nintendo being sold. They've simply got too much money in the bank. I don't see them having another console generation. If they do, it would have to be a big leap away from the Wii. I think one of the biggest problems trying to sell the Wii U is that it doesn't seem like a new console. They got away with that with Game Boy going to Game Boy Pocket and Game Boy Color, and then you get, your Game Boy Micros and your GBA and GBA SP and all this fucking shit going up through the DS, DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL, 3DS, 3DS XL. You even got to the fact where you got a new 3DS, which is simply called the new 3DS, and it's not that much different. It has, it is different enough. It should be a fucking new console. If you're adding another thumbstick, if you're adding essentially a GameCube controller to a handheld device, it's a new fucking console. But Nintendo's been successful with their handhelds with simply having new iterations of the same thing. When it came to the Wii and the Wii U, it looks like you're having an upgrade to an existing console. And that has essentially always failed. I don't know anything that's been a great success. Genesis to Sega CD, 32X, not that cool. Nintendo with the 64DD didn't go anywhere. You can't simply upgrade an existing console and expect people to buy it. Now, the Wii U is a different console. It's a much more powerful system, but with it having the same name, I know you could say, well, the Xbox is simply a different Xbox, the PlayStation is a different PlayStation, just put a fucking different number on it, and Nintendo put just a letter. It's too similar. It looks similar, the controllers are similar, the fact that you can, and this is a good and a bad thing, the fact you can use existing peripherals. The fact that they're pushing back past the Wii and saying, yes, you can use a GameCube controller on your Wii U. That's fucking ridiculous. It's a tribute to the GameCube controller, I suppose. But people aren't looking at the Wii U as a true next-generation console. It's seen as an upgrade, essentially, to the past generation. And I think that's a bad thing. So if Nintendo expects to have success in the next generation, they need to have a truly new console. You've done great with innovation in the past. You need to do something new. You can't simply say it now has HD. Okay, that was expected of you last fucking time. You can't give last generation's expected features and expect people to buy your console. So I don't know that Nintendo's going to have another console. If they do, they have to make some big changes. If they do, I think that they'll be all right. I think they can get past that. And if they do not, and they simply have cash in the bank, but they see their business model is just simply bleeding red. It's just going to go into the red more and more and more each year. What would they do with their content? They could license content and create software similar to what Sega did, or they could sell it to Disney. It's one of the few companies that I think would have... Ooh. Here's something. Who has the money to get into gaming by buying Nintendo? Who has the interest in shared content? Who has an interest in a gaming audience? This could come down to a fight between Google and Amazon. Right now, they keep talking about different consoles and hardware devices and stuff, and I don't know. The Kindle, it's okay, but I think it's losing in the tablet market to the iPad. Google, I don't know people who really like Chromebooks, but if they were to buy Nintendo, YouTube streaming, Twitch for Amazon, there's a concept. So, who do you think, if anyone in the long run, should buy Nintendo? Disney, Google, or Amazon? How many thoughts, comments, dropping down in the comments below. Do whatever you want, response videos, which I don't even think Amazon, or pardon me, fucking YouTube does this anymore, but I think they should. I think it was a good idea. And until then, we will catch you guys next time. You can look me up Xbox Live, Batgroom, Deviant Art, Nerdcraft, and on Twitter, @ATI Channel. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk to you later. Peace.